work today. Hello Facebook, hello YouTube, very nice to see you all. This is the fab brand founder, Dominic Hawksley from Ulverum, and we're going to be talking all about getting skin fabulously firm, smooth, all sorted out for the summer. So it's going to be a really good one. You may well know Ulverum before, actually, because these guys have really kindly given us subscription gifts, haven't you, for the magazine? And I really want to talk to you about the brand because it's one of those amazing traditional, this is it here, Ulverum, traditional beauty brands that, I mean, you guys have been going for nearly 100 years.
It's about 90 years now. We're just celebrating. We meant to celebrate last year, but we couldn't because of lockdown.
Because, obviously.
So it's been
a bigger party this year. And what's the brand's history? Because you started off with that lovely bath oil,
That's
which I think so many of us
It all
know
began
about.
with the bath oil, which was it was created by a couple called Edith and Franz Otto Klein, who were basically enthusiasts. They loved and were deeply fascinated by the therapeutic powers of essential oils. So they were quite wealthy. He was a winemaker and she was a pharmacologist. Wherever they travelled in the world, on their extensive world travels, they find the quintessential essential oil for their own personal collection. And like most Germans, and even today, you know, of the 1920s especially, they were avid spa goers.
Yes,
favourite
just
spa.
come back from a spa. I mean, the Europeans are so into their spas and wellness.
They are, yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing they don't know, actually.
Exactly. In
really
Germany
good.
particularly, there are over 1,000 towns which end in Bad or Baden, which means spa. Or bath.
Yeah, interesting.
Anyway, when their favourite spa told them they could no longer supply them with the house blend of organics, they thought, well, why don't we use all the skills they'd acquired over the years and their amazing collection of essential oils to try and create the world's finest therapeutic oil. And they chose a bath oil as the delivery method because it gets a very fine layer of oil all over your body without having to do this as you get into the oil.
And the smell is amazing, and I don't know, it's very reminiscent of kind of almost times gone by in that it is very therapeutic. It's quite kind of herby.
That's right.
And, you know, anybody with any kind of respiratory issues,
Yes, it really helps calm the breathing, and it works on so many levels. It's an amazing product, and I can't take any credit for it whatsoever because I wasn't around.
So what's your involvement then with...
Well, it came to the attention of my parents, actually. They started a business in the early 80s, a perfumery called Les Senteurs.
I remember Les
Elizabeth
Senteurs.
Street.
Yeah, in Elizabeth Street. Amazing perfume company. I don't know if you remember it.
And it's still going today.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, my father, who was, it's sort of a little bit of a royal connection, because the Duke of Edinburgh used to import Ulverum bath oil from Germany.
Really? From Germany?
Because, you know, I've seen he has quite a few German sporting associates and things like that. And
And
they recommended
heritage.
it, and he used to get it from there. And then the household asked Truefit and Hill, who is the barbers by royal appointment, to keep stock of it.
Right.
My dad used to get his hair cut there. The barber learned that my dad was in the beauty industry and suggested he try this, and they fell in love with it. They went to Germany and asked if they could distribute it in the UK. And it was in a very unusual looking pack then. Well, I can't say it was attractive, but
no, I do remember it. It was quite sturdy. Yes.
And so we all thought, oh, what a shame! If only we owned this brand, we'd know what we'd like to do with it and expand the range. That eventually happened in 2014, and we relaunched it in 2015 with new packaging. And really, that's really sort of, you know,
the decoration of it. I love that. I mean, this is the eucalyptus leaf on there, and presumably eucalyptus is at the heart of Wellbeing oils.
I mean, that could be a eucalyptus leaf. We have no idea because
really?
The artist didn't really say what she was doing.
It's definitely. I think that's. Don't you reckon that's eucalyptus? I'd say that's eucalyptus for sure.
You know, what I love about Ulverum's story is that it was never created as a business, and it's one of the reasons it's such an amazing product, the bath oil, is that they weren't thinking about the cost ingredients. They just wanted to make the best
Always
product
the best
they could.
way.
And
Always the best way.
we've sort of continued with that ethos to this day. Normally you say to a formulator, oh, I want it to cost this much and no more.
And
we say, make the best body oil you can, and let's see if we can make it work within the price structure. And then at least we know what we're heading for. Otherwise you disregard potential ingredients because they just don't fit into that.
But it's lovely that your family have been able to kind of pick up a real heritage beauty brand that works on a therapeutic level. That's why I like all these botanical-based brands that have a real integrity to them.
That's
because
right.
they do actually do something. It's not just a nice smell. It's not just a sort of pretty bath oil that is going to feel nice and softening on the skin, which it does, obviously, and your facial oil is also something that I love. So the ingredients that are in here, so you obviously you've got some of those ingredients that really help with circulation. I can see here you've got...
Are you looking for the bath oil
Yeah,
ingredients, or this is not the bath oil?
That's not the bath oil, of course. This is the Body Firming Moisturizer, which is
help
the
you out
brand
there?
new one. Yeah,
Well,
can
I
you
can
help
help
me
you
out
there.
with the bath oil? Because that was the starting point, wasn't it?
Indeed.
For your family.
Lavender, lavandin, eucalyptus, rosemary, juniper, lemon
Yeah.
peel, lime, geranium, mei chang, and one other that I can't
And one
remember.
other. It smells really, really good. But what we're going to talk about today is how to use essential oils and scrubs and treatments to firm the skin and prep the skin for the summer. And we're going to start actually with something that I'm really excited to show you, because this is something that is quite new. I'm going to put a towel on my lap to do a little demo. And I've got my bowl of water here, because this is kind of the starting point. I think whatever you're using a body scrub, some kind of polish, is really good to get the circulation going. And, oh, you've got one there that's open. Excellent.
Yes.
So this is mine in the box. And I have to say, I used it this morning and my skin is so soft.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff.
So soft. So this is, and we do have a Liz Loves, by the way, which I think is 15%?
15% site-wide. So off all-
Site-wide. Love that expression, of everything.
Yes.
Great, okay. And Rachel, I know, is on Facebook. Hi, Rachel. You'll pop details on there. So this is the body polish. And what's unusual about this is usually body polishes are just gritty scrubs, which is great, you know, and you can use things like caster sugar or granulated sugar and, you know, scrub your skin. But this also has papaya.
It does. It's a dual action exfoliator in that first
love it on the
papaya
hands.
enzyme, which has been proven to, this particular papaya enzyme, be as effective as AHAs, alpha
Yep.
hydroxy acids, at
Yep.
melting away dead skins, but is much kinder to sensitive skin.
It is lovely. You know, I have to be truthful here, I rarely use a body scrub and that I can genuinely infuse.
Oh, good.
Because I find they're either too weedy and they're just sort of pushing little grains and bits of bauble around the skin and not really doing anything.
That's right. Or falling on the floor, which was my big beef. Yeah. Most of it.
Or too aggressive, or they don't smell nice. This actually, I have to say congrats, because you have got really nice particles. What are the little particles that you're using?
It's a combination of pumice, which is doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, I like pumice.
Particularly comes in different grades. We've selected a grade which is not too abrasive. One of my colleagues has
Does
very
work.
sensitive skin, and she's like our sort of canary in the coal mine when it
Oh,
comes
good,
to
she's the
skin. Yeah,
tester.
yes, she is.
Nice to test on people,
So-
not animals, but people.
And so that combined with bamboo extract, which
Oh,
is much finer
interesting.
powdery, which does the sort of fine polishing right at the end.
Bamboo.
That's right.
I've not
Pumice
seen
and bamboo combination.
Nice. And then the papaya enzyme as well.
Papaya enzyme was helped to sort of loosen and soften the dead skin cells.
Yeah.
Hydroclay as well, which is deep cleansing and lifts the impurities. So that's really the order that happens. You know, you're
Yeah.
left with, and then
Lovely. Super smooth. Really, really good. It's actually the second time I've used it today, because I used it this morning as well in the shower. Loved it, particularly on my legs.
Yes.
Because you just get that kind of dry, flaky, you know, particularly after months and months of being in winter woolies and tights and things.
And the texture is very important, because
Yeah.
you know you don't want to have to push too hard. If you push too hard, then it becomes abrasive.
Yeah.
And because it
No,
has
it
good.
is so, I wish
scrubability.
you could feel my hands. Wish you could feel them. And I just wanted to show you something. This, obviously, was all very, very carefully planned, because this is, ta-da, the brand new issue of the magazine. First time I've shown it. And in here, for those of you will be getting it any day, let me know the minute yours arrives. So I don't think we've had any sightings yet. It's like the first cuckoo of spring. Always have to watch out for who's going to get it first. But if you look, there's some fantastic beauty features in this issue, which is what we start with. We usually start with beauty and then we go on to well-being and food and health and all of that. But on, where are we? Here, page 33. This is lovely Rosie, who we've had on the live before. Do you remember? She talks about sugaring and using natural remedies. Well, she, totally coincidentally, shares a recipe for the natural papaya cleanser, and talking about how traditionally papaya skin, you know, if you're eating papaya, and certainly this is something that I did when I was in Kenya, because papaya grow naturally, so they're, you know, really cheap and easy to get hold of. Once you've scooped out all the flesh, you can then use the skin. Don't throw it away, whatever you do. If you do have a papaya, is you can rub it over your body. And obviously you're not getting the grains, you're not getting the gritty scrub, and you're not getting a particularly nice smell, but you are getting that enzyme action of the fruit acids.
In fact, the papaya enzyme we use is upcycled from, it's a byproduct of food production.
Really?
So it's not going to waste. We're taking that and extracting the papaya.
I love all that. Recycling and upcycling, as you say. I'm just going to move this one down a little bit just so that you can see. No, nobody seems to have received their magazine yet. I guess it was because of the bank holiday. So it has been mailed. So hopefully, any time. Kim's got hers on Zinio. Yeah, of course. You see, if you've got the digital edition, then you're streets ahead, aren't you, really? So that's the first step. So if you are looking for a really good summer body polisher, I can genuinely recommend it. Okay, it does definitely get my seal of approval, especially with discounts. So thank you very much for that. Now the next step, if I'm correct, is the firming body oil.
That's correct, yes.
So this is quite exciting. Okay, so this is a little bit of magic in a bottle. What have you got in here and why?
Right, well, there's a common thread through many of our body oils, which is an ingredient called Alaria esculenta, which is winged kelp, extract of winged kelp.
Kelp, excellent. We know a little bit about seaweed, don't we, guys, from talking to Dr. Seaweed in the Outer Hebrides?
Indeed.
love a bit of seaweed.
And the amazing property of this particular seaweed is that it stimulates the skin's own synthesis of collagen and hyaluronic acid. Because as we age, of course, it slows down, the skin's production slows down, and also it starts to degrade quicker. So we wanted to address both those elements here. So we have Alaria esculenta to help boost your skin's own production, and Paracress, which has the property of helping to retard the natural degradation of collagen. So the idea is to attack it from both sides, so you end up with more collagen in your skin.
And does it really work?
It really does work.
Good. I'm always going to ask that question.
It's important, though, to remember with any firming product that massage is very important, because the idea is to bring more blood to the surface of the skin, and that really helps. And we recommend sort of always stroking upwards.
Yeah. And particularly for hips and thighs and like puffy ankles.
Exactly. All those areas that are particularly prone to loss of elasticity,
congestion.
And, exactly. And,
okay.
And so this also has papaya enzyme in it, which helps to stimulate in much lower quantities, but it's there to kind of, because you can't use the body polish every day.
No, I was going to ask you how often, if you've got the body polisher, how often you'd be using this?
5 days to 7 days, every week, once a week maybe.
Okay, yeah, it says on here once or twice a week. Lovely. Yeah. Okay, so in between times. In between times,
which you can use every day, is the firming body oil.
Okay.
And the papaya enzyme, the fermented papaya enzyme, there just keeps the sort of ticking over. It keeps the sort of dead skin cells softened, if you like, and helps to stimulate cell regeneration.
So it's a bit like, I guess, a natural AHA. Sometimes you can find really expensive body creams. In fact, I've got one that I'm trialling at the moment, which have these glycolic acids in to just help shift dead skin cells. But you're doing this in a more natural and really moisturising way. Actually, it's probably better for for older skin.
That's right.
More mature skin.
And also, if I can get one over here, we have it. There are a combination of essential oils that we use there, but particularly black pepper and.
It's clary sage,
grapefruit, and black
thyme, rosemary, patchouli, bergamot.
Yes, those four
eucalyptus.
are the sort of, they help with the the after. It's like they're like the finishing, if you like.
Okay.
The black pepper and grapefruit is interesting because that, from a aromatological, that's hard saying that, aromatological perspective, that has been proven to. Via your limbic brain, as it were, as essential oils work, to stimulate the sympathetic nervous system to make you more contoured. They discovered Shiseido did some in-depth research in the early 2000s, and then patented their findings in 2004, which discovered that certain fragrances have a psychological and physiological effect on you, and so this sympathetic nervous system is stimulated, and that helps. Bring more blood to the area and things like
Really?
that. Yeah, it really does kind of, we always thought of grapefruit slimming, and it is actually,
And
just smelling
so
of
that
the
the
slimming.
smell of grapefruit is going to trigger the parasympathetic nervous
Or,
system
no,
in your brain,
sympathetic nervous system.
sympathetic nervous system, through the limbic area of the brain, into physiological changes that can help
Well, I mean,
firm you up a bit. That's
strictly
extraordinary.
speaking, yes, psychologically, it's also a psychological thing as well.
Yeah.
So that, and I read something, I was doing some sort of background research, thinking,
Yeah.
oh God, I really ought to know what I'm talking about. No,
It helps.
yes. No, I found
That
myself
is
going down a rabbit
fascinating.
hole much further than I
Yeah,
needed to
yeah.
be, for this.
Yeah.
But it was,
That is really fascinating. I mean, we know that the brain and senses have such an impact. We know that it's mood and emotion. And particularly the area of the brain that we're talking about here is the limbic system, which is this little bit. It's right at the top of the nose, isn't it? It's right in the front of the brain. Which is why our sense of smell is so powerful for mood and emotion and memories. Because you get that waft of whatever the aroma is. The first thing it does is it hits these little neurotransmitters, the brain cells right here in your limbic system. And that can trigger all kinds of things, whether, they might be happy memories, they might be sad memories, it might remind you of somebody, if you catch a whiff of somebody's fragrance or aftershave or whatever, it'll immediately kind of like bang, it's like a teletransportation, you're back in that moment, aren't you?
It's funny, when I was an actor, of course, that sort of was very useful exercise to try and find those triggers to get you back into a particular time, which has an emotional, because it's all tied in with your emotions as well. And particularly fragrance makes you associate.
So would you then, as an
things.
actor, read a script and remember your lines, burning at a particular scent, and then if you smelled that scent again, it would help for that to come back?
The exercise would be to try and find that moment, and sometimes when you were sort of going back, being sort of deeply relaxed, you don't have to use this all the time, but if you were having trouble with a particular find a connection to a moment or a characteristic or a scene, and you would find yourself getting very relaxed. It's called sense memory.
Sense memory.
Or an affective memory.
Love
There are
it.
two different things there. Sort of
Do you know, I recently experienced that because I've been away in this amazing spa in Switzerland interviewing some of the therapists there about new things for the summer. And when I was in hospital having my children, I think pretty much all of them, I took with me a blend of clary sage and lavender. And I used that, I used it as something that I would smell to keep me calm and relaxed. And I smelt that same smell in the spa.
Wow.
And immediately I was back on a maternity ward. I mean, it was just like, oh my goodness, I'm back with a newborn
In a
baby.
good way.
And in a good way. No, it was very happy. It was very joyful and, a very special time, which you can't kind of recreate. And often don't return to, but those smells, and I know that I've spoken to, many readers and viewers in the past who've said that a particular fragrance, will remind them of their mother or their grandmother, and it's a really emotional thing. And I think we kind of overlook sometimes the therapeutic role.
That's right,
of essential
and
oils.
that's basically what our brand is based on.
Yeah.
It was when they created the bath oil. It was 50% essential oils, and it's very, very concentrated.
Wow.
That's why you only use a teeny
lot.
tiny amount.
Yeah.
But the particular combination are, are deeply relaxing just from breathing in the vapors and the aromas.
Yeah.
And have that, it's not just necessarily a memory of being or reminding you of something. It actually physically relaxes you.
Yeah, I highly, highly recommend it. Lovely gift, by the way, if you're thinking of an unusual present for somebody, or a treat for yourself, maybe. So that is the second step then. So that's the firming body oil. Let's come on to the brand new product, because this is, just being launched, isn't it? It's nice to have a little new thing to show you. This is the Firming Body Moisturizer.
I've got a little leaf on the back.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute. Really very, very stylish. Can I pop some of that on
Sure,
me?
absolutely.
If you primed it. So tell us about this. So would I use this on top of the oil?
Yes, you would.
Okay.
This provides another kind of, again, it contains Alaria esculenta.
Alaria esculenta.
to
Everybody remember what that is?
Winged kelp.
Seaweed, winged kelp. Very good.
I love the name winged kelp. That's a very
Winged
so
kelp, it's
so
like sort of a
romantic.
winged angel, isn't it?
Indeed.
Or the fairy.
Much more romantic than it
skincare.
actually looks when you see it.
Yeah, it's
but
probably
got-
what a piece of brown spongy stuff, is
Oh,
it?
they look great. They look great in the water.
In water, yeah, on
Yes.
dry land it's not so good.
Yes.
But
And
very
then-
effective.
indeed.
I mean, fantastically skin softening.
Exactly.
And
We've used a particular combination of oils, cranberry sinica, rice lipids, rice extract, and check my thing.
What fun to be creating
meadow
things
foam
like
oil.
Meadow foam. I'm very familiar with meadow foam. In my previous life, I have used things like that. And you also hear, even in the firming body moisturizer, you've used the papaya enzyme.
Indeed, yes.
For the cell renewal.
Exactly, because this is also kind of
Really
reinforcing.
interesting.
Yes.
So
Stimulating
you're-
cell renewal is what we're trying to achieve. You see, this kind of stimulation and
Yeah.
but natural stimulation in a very gentle
Yeah.
yet effective way. There is
Love
also
it.
another ingredient
Really
here,
love
which
it.
is we use, instead of paracress in this
Yeah.
product, we use Lapland grown crowberry extract. I'd never heard of crowberries.
Crowberry. I don't know
Crowberries.
about crowberry. Tell me about crowberry.
Well, they are. I couldn't draw one for you, I have to say,
I won't ask you to do that.
but they are. This is a fairly new ingredient to the market. Really, we discovered it at a trade show, hot off the kind of They
Nice.
finished all their testing, and we thought, wow, that sounds incredible, and the results they managed to get for it are phenomenal, and because this also retards the degradation of collagen and helps to do so. It's doing the similar thing at paracress, but slightly differently, so you get a broader spectrum
Yeah.
of effect.
Do you know, it's so fascinating, isn't it, being able to have a deep dive into these ingredients, because so often, you see something on a shelf and you might think, oh, that looks pretty, I might know Ulverum, that's, a trusted brand, and that looks quite interesting. But I think when you actually hear the science and the formulation, the composition, the thought that goes into why these ingredients, how long would it take to create something like this and do all the testing? And
It takes a really long time, and
Yeah.
I was rather naive when I started off, thinking, "Oh well, we'll just make
you
everything
just
smell like
put
Ulverum."
a few oils
After all,
together
exactly.
and pop it in a bottle, and
And,
it doesn't quite work like that, does it?
No, it takes an awful long time, and also I'm
Yeah.
annoyingly a perfectionist, which I've tried to get over,
good thing
and
to
it's
be.
probably hard for people around me sometimes. But at least we end up with products that I'm kind of like I can stand behind
Yeah,
and say
yeah.
I really, really believe in this. We test things not only from because we're really working from three. There are three sort of pillars when it comes to our formulation. The latest developments in botanical cosmetic science,
Yeah.
aromatherapy, and aromatology, and so it's not just smell nice. It's not, we don't just put things in there to make it smell pretty and to
Yeah.
mask the base. All the ingredients have to have an active purpose, so they have to have to be skin beneficial, or they have to lift your spirit, or because we're trying to work on mind, body, and spirit at the same time. And so satisfying all of those is a lot easier on paper than it is in reality, because also
Sure.
essential oils behave differently in an oil base than they do in a water base, and something like a moisturizer like this is a water-based product. So you could take an essential oil, put it in oil, it will smell one way, put it in a
smell
water-based
different.
product, it smells different. So
And you've also got to make sure that it's stable,
exactly.
and do all your stability testing and packaging compatibility, and it really takes me back to those
remember,
days. Yeah, it's been a long time
We've
since
had
I was involved. But
we've had a body cleanser in development for about 5 years, and I kid you not.
Really,
It's, I hope, touchwood, going to be launched later this year.
right?
It took a long time to arrive at the base, which is we'll come back and talk about it.
Okay,
but the
yeah,
thing-
great, exciting.
But
Fantastic.
that fragrancing is the hard bit, because, as you say, you find this amazing fragrance. You think, I've got this base, I put them together, and suddenly it's watery, and it doesn't.
But do you know what I love particularly about brands like yours is the consistency, because it's all very well to have the latest thing, and even they do it with fragrances, don't they? They discontinue,
That's right.
and it's just so annoying, because things, as we've discussed, like fragrance, essential oils, you have an emotional connection. And if somebody decides to discontinue something, it can be devastating, because you can't get that, or they change. They
That's
change a
right.
fragrance.
Yeah.
And, I can think of several instances recently when I've been bitterly disappointed that a fragrance has either changed, And I didn't have that immediate hit of, oh, I love this. You know, it's like, wow, what have they done here?
Sometimes it's because of regulations have
You're
changed.
absolutely right. Sometimes, you know, the blessed EU,
Yes.
you know,
IFRA.
and IFRA, you know, do decide to change in their wisdom ingredients. But then you just have to work really, really, really hard.
Indeed.
To recreate it,
That's
I
right.
think, and just
That's right.
not take no for an answer. That would be the thing.
Well, so we took our cue. You know, we do take a long time. We took our cue from the original founders, Edith
Yeah.
and Franz Otto, because they took 2 years to develop the bath oil.
And that still is in its original...
Virtually unchanged, apart from
Yeah.
minor sort of things because of regulations, basically, over the years.
tweaks.
Imagine
yeah.
things have changed a lot in the last 90 years.
Yeah, I
And,
should think so. Yeah.
And yeah,
But that's still the staple. That's like the cornerstone of Alverum is the original bath oil.
That is, yes, and it's that's basically created the blueprint for how we go about trying to create
Fascinating.
products.
And are your parents still involved?
They aren't. My dad passed away, sadly, about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And my mum, the shop still exists, but she is the biggest Alverum fan ever. She sold so much Alverum from her shop,
Yeah.
bath oil.
Yeah.
And
That's fantastic. They must be so proud that, you know, it's staying within the family and that you're able to
yes,
take
it's nice
it
because it was a
forward.
family business before that
Yeah.
with the Kleins. Their son took over from them.
Yeah.
And it was their son who my dad went to see and now
Yeah.
passed
And
it on
now
to
it's
me.
onto his
Yeah.
son. So have you stopped acting then? And are you... or do you
I
get
never say
tempted back
never.
occasionally? Okay.
I do. I occasionally do voice jobs. I might do a play for Radio 4
Yeah.
with a director I've worked with before because
Yeah.
I can just bunk off work maybe for a couple of days. You know, it's not like
Yeah.
I'm going to film for 6 weeks
Yeah.
or do a play for 3 months
Yeah.
somewhere else. So yeah, and
How exciting.
I have this idea that one day I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Really, really lovely, and lovely to hear the story behind the brand. So basically, let's just tell everybody where they can go and find out more about it. So Alverum, you have your website, alverum.com. That's it there. And everything is on there.
Everything's on there.
Do you find
Always.
that you also are in retail? I know I've seen it
We
in
are,
Chelsea.
yes.
I've seen a couple of little smart establishments that
We
stock
now
you.
are in well, the major sort of the biggest accounts are Liberty.
Oh, I love Liberties.
Harvey Nichols, Fortnum Mason,
Oh, all the smart ones.
Fenwick, and just recently John Lewis as well.
Great.
And Space NK online.
Oh, congratulations. But if you want your discount, then obviously we go direct
Yes,
to
exactly.
you.
Indeed.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm so looking forward. You know, I have to say, obviously, I try everything extensively before we talk about it, and definitely before we can give it a Liz Loves seal of approval. And I was really impressed without knowing so much about the backstory of the ingredients. I just thought, you know, these are really well formulated. There's obviously a lot of care. They do work. And, you know, particularly I think when you're making claims like firming, you need to be really sure that you're
Yes,
on sure
I mean,
ground, because
firming
that, you know,
takes
that,
time
that
as
is quite a long, quite a big claim
Yeah.
to say.
Yes, I do think you're not going to wake up tomorrow feeling.
No, of course not. But
toned and
that's
tight about your
that's unrealistic. But I have to say, even in the short period of time that I've been using these three together, my skin is definitely smoother. It feels firmer. And
great
I
to hear.
like it not only for the firming aspect, obviously as we come into the summer and we perhaps get a little bit more skin on show, but also, you know, as I age, my skin does get drier. And, I found that particularly on my legs, on my arms, elbows, I need to have a bit of a richer moisturiser. But I don't want something that's full of mineral oil. I don't want anything that's too sticky. You know, I want to be able to get dressed straight away afterwards and have something that lasts throughout the day. Because sometimes you put a moisturiser on and your skin is fine for about an hour, and then, you know, you go back, or at the end of the day, you know, you get undressed and you think, oh my goodness, I've turned into a reptile during the day. But actually that doesn't happen. You still get the good effect.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you very much. And Liz Loves for 15% off everything. And do please come back and talk about your body
No, I'd love
cleanser
to. I
that's
would love
taken
to.
5 years to
Yeah.
develop. I'm seriously intrigued by that. So I'm going to show other things.
Sure.
So if you want to just scooch
Sure,
that way a
no
little
problem.
bit. Thank you. Fascinating. And nice to see the guys from Alverum. I know. Oh, you've just bought it, have you? Well done. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Yeah, really interesting, isn't it? Very, very interesting indeed. Lots of chat going on about fragrances and about how important they are for mood and emotions. Yeah, Actual Lolly here says this ritual is incredible. Products really show the effects straight away. Nice to get a feedback from somebody who has already tried. Brilliant. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you. Okay, so a couple of other quick things talking about body firming. Now, you may have seen, that I spoke to Olivia Wilson, another great British beauty brand. This is the little Derma Roller that has these teeny tiny needles, and you just sort of run it very, very gently over your skin for micro needling. Really good. Micro needling can be really good, actually, for eye bags, if you do it really gently. I've used it in the past for my own eye bags, actually used it in a salon, having radio frequency and microneedling, which is kind of the next stage. But for home use, this is really good. And you can either get the little facial roller, or you can get the body one, which is this one, which has slightly longer needles, slightly deeper. And you can just use that. I use it particularly on my hands and arms, and then follow that with a really good body cream. I might be following it with this one. Just a word of warning, if you are doing this, start very gently and use something afterwards. Use a product that you're used to. It's not the time to be experimenting with something new. Use something that you'll know that your skin tolerates and really likes. But we do have Liz Loves on both of those, on the facial and the body. Let me just check. Yeah, 10% off, and that's Olivia Wilson. I know, Rachel, you'll pop. We've already done it. You beat me to it. Well done. That is for face and body. And then talking about spiky things, something which I know that many of you have really loved, and I'd love it if you can give me some feedback on that, is bed of nails. Yeah, bed of nails. Who has tried their nail mat? Dominic's still here, just off vision. Have you tried it? Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I loved it.
You loved it, yeah. It's really, so this is the little pillow here, and you can also get a mat like this that you lie on, and it's extraordinary. You just get this sort of release of endorphins. It's really good for pain. I know a lot of people who have migraine use this. A lot of people have one perhaps when they sit and they put their feet on it to stimulate reflex zones. Yeah, Jumarts is saying here, love it. Linda loves it as well. Interesting. Yeah, it's honestly, bed of nails. It was actually Lily, because she discovered this with her migraine. She was the one who got me into it. And when I first tried it, I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be a bit too ouchy. I'm not going to be sure if I'm going to really love this. But I do love it, and it's one of those things that you become quietly addicted to it. And I travel with it. You can get little travel mats that you can go with, or you can get ones that you can just slip over a pillow or a cushion. I get a lot of tension in my neck, so this is where I tend to use mine. I have one on the sofa at home, and if I'm watching TV, I'll just relax with it. And then you find that when you take it off your skin, even in that short time, I can feel it actually. You get this endorphin rush, and it improves blood flow, blood circulation. Really remarkable. So there is 15% off Bed of Nails, just so that you know, and that's bedofnails.org, using Liz Loves. And then the other thing, actually talking about Lily, if we're talking about glowing skin, is you may have seen she's been doing quite a lot of promotions on Cell Return recently. And again, talking about collagen, as Dominic was talking about, the ingredients there that really help with collagen renewal, the degradation, helping to keep it intact. And of course, your Cell Return mask is the one that really does it for me. And in fact, what I normally do, because I do travel with that, I'm actually using this one now, making sure that I'm religious about it every day, which is with the Neckel Ray. So that's what you do. You just put the button on here. It talks to you, which is rather reassuring. There you go. So it doesn't flicker in real life. I know it's flickering on your screen. But this is so easy to use, and I have noticed crepiness around here. So I'm taking Ingenious Beauty, the collagen capsules, obviously using lots of moisturizers, taking it, don't stop at the chin, take it right down across the neck and the top of the chest area. But this is one of my little secret friends. So let me know how you are enjoying all of those things, because I think, beauty, aging well, it's never just one thing, is it? It's always a combination. It's a mix of all these different things, and you can't really separate them out. And you do need to take a look at what's going on inside. You know, we do need to look obviously at drinking more water. When I was at Bad Ragaz in Switzerland, they were saying really between 2 and 3 litres a day. Yes, I'm kind of really trying to work up for that. And the dermatologist I was talking to about it said the best thing to do is to drink every half hour. Put a reminder on your phone or on your laptop or wherever you are that just pings every 30 minutes to say, you know, have another glass of water. And she said you should really, by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, have got through your 2 to 3 litres. So that's a goal. I have to say I'm not quite there. And I forget, I don't know about you, but, you know, the day kind of gets away with me and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it's been, you know, 3 or 4 hours or more and I haven't had a drink. And that can also cause headaches. The majority of our headaches, they say, are caused by dehydration. So if you drink more water, you're likely to have less headaches during the day, which is a good thing. Who is this? Susie saying, I love my nail mat. It really helps my back. Excellent. Zoe, you like my dress? Thank you very much. This is an old favourite actually from a Spiga. I'm pretty sure that we have a Liz Loves with a Spiga. It's one of my favourite ethical fashion brands. Yeah, you get free P&P if you use Liz Loves on aspiga.com. It's got a fab female founder, Lucy McNamara, who I've known for years and years and years. She started Aspiga. Yeah, so thank you very much for that. And yeah, my necklace is a wild rose. I thought, seeing as we were talking about botanicals with Olverum today, I would have a bit of a botanical theme. So this is my wild rose, which is part of the series on Liz Earle jewellery. 20% off everything on Liz Earle jewellery at the moment. You don't need a code, just head to the website and you'll find it all there. So there we go. For those of you who are interested in shaping up, perhaps you're going to use your body polish, your firming oil and or your moisturizer. I know that I'm going to be doing all three to really help give yourself a push for summer. Don't forget that it's also what goes on inside. What lies on the table is a key part of all of that. And I have my e-guide, which is the e-guide to a happier, flatter tum. So flatter being combating bloating, looking at gut health. All the gut experts that we've talked to over the last years here at Liz Earle Wellbeing have contributed to really give very helpful information on things like IBS, bloating, food allergies, and how to shape up for the summer. So I hope that that is helpful. I'm going to be back with you next week, and we're going to be talking next week. We're moving on from the body to something actually that Dominic was talking a little bit about earlier, and that's the brain. So looking at brain health and how we can better protect that across all ages. So not just Alzheimer's, dementia, you know, all those kind of degenerative diseases, but also brain health for students and for younger people and for anxiety, the whole kind of range of mental health that we can help with. We're going to be exploring that with a great brand, a British brand called Noggin, with Dr. Clara Russell, who's the founder. And we're going to be talking about nootropics and everything from brain issues to things like multiple sclerosis, MS. So I'll pop something in my Instagram, on my main feed and in my stories. So if you've got comments and questions on that, do please keep them coming, because we will then see how many we can address during the live on Tuesday, and the same on Facebook as well. Do please jot them down. Anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed today. It's been lovely to be back in my studios. Lots to talk about. You'll find more, of course, over on lizearlewellbeing.com. Lots of information there. And of course you can replay this in real time. And do let me know when your magazine arrives. I'd love to know what you think. There is still a subscription gift, by the way, which is the MTHK eye vitamins. Took mine this morning. That's, I think, worth about £30, and you get that free if you want to subscribe. So if you'd like your copy in actual print, beautiful print, not just the download. Well done, Kim, for getting yours. I know you're in Belgium at the moment, so that's probably a very good way to get it. But if you'd like your printed copy, then you're going to have to subscribe, because it's not available in the stores. No, it's exclusive. It comes direct with free P&P in the UK through the post. And we will ship it actually across the globe. You just have to pay the extra P&P. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you, Julia. Thank you for your very kind feedback. Julia is saying here that she loves the bed of nails and it's really helped with her migraines. Yeah, I agree. Lily would definitely say that as well. Elavad said, yeah, she has one fantastic matte. Cecilia says, love it, the best. Oh, Kim, your neck is the worst thing. I would seriously try this, honestly. I think for me, just to ease neck tension at the end of the day, bed of nails, and you do get your Liz Loves discount, definitely worth trying. Yeah, listing all the products with links and codes. Go to lizearlewellbeing.com. They're all there. Literally, they're all there in a big list and more that you might have missed. So just lizearlewellbeing.com. If you just put in Liz Loves, you'll see they're all with a lot more information as well if you want to know about all the different brands that we've talked about. Lovely to see you, and hope very much to see you with me next Tuesday. Until then, have a great rest of the week. Go well. Bye-bye.